if you realize just how easy it is to build a Copilot in Copilot Studio that is multilingual. I bet we can do this in less than 5 minutes, so let's give it a try. We're going to go to copilotstudio.microsoft.com and click New Copilot. We'll give it a name. And then here we'll select our primary language. So this will be the default language that your Copilot will speak. However, we have the ability after we initially create this to go in and have it support multiple languages. So we'll choose English for now. And then right here, we're going to add in some generative AI magic where we can point our Copilot to a website and it can use the power of generative AI to be able to answer any questions about data on that website. So I'm just going to point it to the Microsoft website and then we'll click create. So now our Copilot is ready and we can use it in English. So I can ask it things, the test pane here, like what is GPT? And then it replies with an answer from the Microsoft website that I gave it. Now to have this support multiple languages, it's really as easy as going to the settings menu in the left-hand side and going to the languages page. Here we just click the add languages button and you see all of the different languages that Copilot Studio currently supports. Everything from Chinese to Dutch to German, Spanish, you name it. And we can select as many of these languages as we want. To keep it simple, I'm going to select Spanish here and we'll add that language. And as soon as I add that new language, you see in the test window, now we can see that this is formatted to English. And if we click these 3 dots, we have the ability to switch between languages now. Now we can't stop here though, because you'll notice even if I switch to Spanish right now, this message in the Copilot welcoming me is still in English. So this wouldn't be the ideal experience. So we need to do one more step. If we go back to the languages tab, you'll see this little icon here next to the language we just added. And we need to update the localizations for this language. To do that, we can download this localization file as a JSON file. And then at this point, all we need to do is convert this JSON file to Spanish. So I just opened up this JSON file in Visual Studio Code to give you a look at what it will look like. It lists all the topic trigger phrases in here and the canned responses that your Copilot will have. So this is what needs to be converted from English to Spanish. You can run this through a tool, or I actually tried something pretty nifty to do some of this translation, and I used GitHub Copilot Chat. So take this text here, say I wanted to translate that to Spanish. I can just ask GitHub Copilot Chat to translate this text to Spanish, and it gives me a translation. And I can select that button and it will replace the highlighted text with that translation. So I can repeat this process until this is all translated, or we can use a tool to do it, whatever your preference. And once you have that file translated, you can go back to Copilot Studio and click on this Browse button, point it to your localization file and click Open. And now you'll just select Upload Translation Updates. And then finally, Upload Localizations. So this will go and take that information and pass it on into the Copilot so it can understand the language. So now it looks like we're good to go. We have that success message, so we'll close this out. Then we'll open up our test pane again, do a little refresh, and let's switch it to Spanish. So right now it's on English. We'll click these 3 dots, go to Language, change it to Spanish. And now you'll see all of the text in the test pane changes automatically. So the welcome message is in Spanish and the placeholder text for the input box changes to Spanish as well. So I could ask our Copilot, what is Azure OpenAI? And press enter. And it comes back with the response in Spanish, and it includes links to where it got that information from. So I can select this first one, for example. And it takes me to the Microsoft AI site in the localized version in Spanish here so that I can read and see where that information is coming from. And behind the scenes, how this is working is it's using Azure Translation Services. And you can see just how fast that was to be able to add this multilingual support. So now I can toggle between asking questions in Spanish and toggle back to English if I wanted to. And now we're back in English and I can ask it what is Power Automate, and it will reply back in English. And I can simply repeat this process for any other language that I want to support by including that localization file, and we are good to go. So hopefully you've seen just how easy it is to build a Copilot in Copilot Studio that supports multiple languages. I'd love to hear what you think about it, or if you have any questions, drop a note in the comments and let me know. If you found this helpful, do me a favor and click that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.